Good afternoon, freedom fighters. It is 2:19 p.m. East Coast time, April 13th, 2025. Very clear skies last night as we watched a Starlink rocket shoot off from the East Coast. We're on the west coast of Gulf of Mexico. I want to show you the video from last night. A couple little videos I made from yesterday and last night. Beautiful dolphin video with shark come on scene and about halfway through the video. Pretty cool things we get to see out here in our Gulf of Mexico. When they changed it to the Gulf of America, it destroyed all laws protecting this body of water. I want you to realize they have access to our resources now, and they are being shipped to China. But let's move on to the Starlink satellite system that is taking place right now. I watch them go up almost weekly now, sometimes a couple times a week. You can see the new train over South America, and you see these little straight line. The little new ones kind of stand out to me. They're only 350 kilometers. 300 kilometers. It's not quite up there yet. Might be one from last night that I'm about to show y'all. Starlinks is the largest man-made weapon ever created. It will keep humans under their evil tyrannical thumb for thousands of years now, unless something steps in and stops this. Here we can see the belt of energy they have in the United States called Hurricane Alley. Starting to wonder why these Tornado Alley, excuse me. I live in Hurricane Alley. Tornado Alley is mostly created by machines that can create and control hurricanes and tornadoes. I know it sounds insane. It's not science fiction, it's science fact. We have the patents. There's no reason for this kind of energy to be in Texas right now. It's clear skies. You can see the energy turn on and off at will. There's no reason for overlapping NEXRAD radar systems. The curvature Earth, they need a few, but it would be every other one, even with the curvature Earth. These machines overlap about 150 miles distance per machine, and some of these are 35 miles apart, 40 miles apart. There's no reason for it. It's to ionize, to energize the atmosphere at will, to control our weather. These machines need to be shut down. Absolutely no super tankers pumping out in the Pacific Ocean at this moment. What are we going to rename the Atlantic Ocean, the American Ocean next? You know what I'm saying? We're rewriting the wheel here. It's getting very dangerous what they're doing to our laws that protected our waterways from the tyrannical oil tycoon. While they want to rob you of your natural gas, they're shipping it to China. My uncle that works here at the new refinery. That is so red. I don't get that. Why is the mud so red this year? As a commercial fisherman that has watched the weather his entire life, our forecasts are no longer accurate. As you can see today, Sunday, 2:30, 5-mile-an-hour winds when it's blowing 15. Not a big deal, right? 10 mile an hour, what's the big deal? But when you're on the ocean, on the waterways, it's a big deal. It creates waves. And 15 mile an hour ain't a big deal, but the other night it was forecast to be 20, and the crew, they ended up going shrimping when I stayed home because I could see it. Said it blew 40. Not forecast. Very dangerous. We are just ants, my friend, on a beautiful planet. This is Crystal River Power Plant over the horizon. That's why we have a horizon. It's because the curvature. There is the entire state of Florida is behind this horizon. This is Crystal River Nuclear Power Plant. It's only a minute long video, but I just want to show you that we can see land go out of sight foot by foot. It's a curvature thing. It's not flat. There's no physical way. Why wouldn't I see the sun when it's in Australia? You know, it doesn't make any sense to a fisherman. My boss in Alaska is like, what do they think? My ocean's running off the edges? We fish in 3,000 feet of water. The curvature is very easily to see When my buddy leaves to go home an hour early to me, I see his light slowly go out of sight. And I can see him bobbing up and down with the waves where to come in sight and back out of sight. But it's a minute long, and I want to show you the Starlink rocket we seen go up and the beautiful moonrise and sunset, which will be before the rocket. And then we'll get to the dolphins and sharks. Thank you to everybody that has commented, contributed. Somebody gave me a beautiful gift last night. I try to keep everybody anonymous. Don't want to make it personal against people that doesn't or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, how to present it to people that they help me, but I appreciate y'all in every way, shape, and fashion. But let's get back to the moment here. A minute and 22 seconds. Everything you see tonight was from last night, April 12th through the 13th. We didn't get in until this morning. Stand by. I'll show you some cool stuff. We seen the sharks and dolphins playing, was really cool. Hello, freedom fighters. I just want to show y'all the Crystal River nuclear power plant over the horizon. Very distinct towers sticking up. The state of Florida is over there as well. You cannot see on the other side of the horizon, but you can see the nuclear power plant that we have. Not sure how far we are from it, probably about 20 miles, I'm not sure exactly, but that's why you cannot see the big giant buildings, channel markers, but you can still see the towers of the smokestack. Crystal River Power Plant. Tiny bit of land and shore of us here. You can barely see. I'm zoomed all the way in, but you can see just some trees sticking up. Standing by. A little breezy right now. Pretty good camera zoomed in on that. That's a long ways away. I gotta get going again. I just want to show y'all that. Crystal River Power Plant. Standing by. Okay, I wish I'd have got the sunset. It was actually quite beautiful. I guess they wanted to make sure they had very clear skies for their rocket launches. So if you want to look at weather manipulation, look at the schedule of rocket launches and watch the weather clear out for these events. And I believe what they did last night was some kind of ritual, is what it looked like. Full moon, and they add color to these rockets. Like I said, I've watched rockets go up my entire life living here in Florida. We live near the Space Center, 150 miles away by the bird. They're red for some reason. Red rockets going up at night on full moons is so ritual-like to me. But here is the sunset. It is already gone. I wish I'd have captured the last moments of it. It's truly beautiful, but only on the very fullest of the moon will it set and the moonrise at the exact same time. And this is what I'm going to show you 1 minute long. Thank you to the warriors standing by. A beautiful sunset. I wish I'd have filmed it for y'all, but what I want to show everybody is this. The only time there's a true full moon is when the sun sets and the moon is coming up at the exact same time. We were running. I was too wet out here to film anything, but it's actually cold. Holy cow. But there's the moon coming up, and the sun just set at the exact same time as it's coming up. The sun is setting. Standing by. Just want to show you what a real full moon is. It only happens once a month. Beautiful though. Zoom in on it all the way. Got some red color to it. Really pretty picture. I'm gonna try to get a picture. Standing by. Cold out here. Bear, it's chilly. I thought it was springtime. It feels more like wintertime. Very pretty. Time to rig out. Standing by. Okay. That is a rocket. We've been seeing them go up constantly. We actually seen the one blow up in the daytime over the Bahamas or whatever it was. Looked more over Cuba to me at the time. But we are about 9 or 10 nautical miles offshore of the state of Florida. You'll see a few towers blinking. Full moon rise that I just had previously showed, and the rocket go up until the second stage happens. 2 minutes long. Thank you to the Warriors. Okay, guys, we got a rocket going up. My trawl line's in the way. My buddy just turned the light off, but that is a rocket going up for Starlink. They like them being red. It is a full moon night. I don't know if it's part of their ritual. It looks more like a ritual, that red. When I was a kid, the rockets did not burn red like they do now. I don't know if they add color to it, because you can add any kind of different minerals. I forgot what burns red. It might be mercury or something. But fireworks. But that is a rocket going up in outer space. I wish you could really see what I see. It looks totally different with my eyes. A real long red tail. The rocket going up, full moon night. I feel like it's part of their rituals, my friends. Camera's not gonna do it any justice. It's gone now. Probably doing a phase, it just quit burning. Standing by, rocket's going up. Beautiful. Crazy how red it is. There you can see it again here. Probably a different stage. That was cool. Ow, look at it. Foot hurts. Turn some lights back on. Oh, we gotta get going here. Time to get our drag. Time to get it, guys. Standing by. Okay, my friends, I want to show you a video of dolphins and a shark showing up on scene about halfway through the video. It's a black tip or a spinner. I believe that's a black tip. It's hard to tell for me unless I see their very bottom fin. The spinner's got it painted where a black tip does not. Very close related sharks. But I want to show you this very beautiful dolphin playing with ballyhoo. There's the beginning of it. Thank you to the Warriors, and standing by. 7 minutes long. I hope y'all enjoy it. I love the dolphins. They've always been my friends. Even though they claim we killed 1 million a year, it was not true. I hand-fed these things my whole life. They're smarter than most of the people I've seen. Standing by. Ballyhoo. Baby dolphin. That's a pretty young dolphin. But he come up with one in his mouth and threw it. And you could tell he was barely holding it. He didn't want to hurt it. He wanted to chase it. It's like a cat playing with a mouse or a lizard. I've seen them full grown ones throw pompano and trout around like they're toys. A little better angle here. Perfect song for a road.
I was broken from a young age, drinking my soul into the masses, rather my poems for the few that look at me, to me, sugar me, burn me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my
loves that ballyhoo, don't he? Just chasing him, that's all he's doing. Having fun. What was that?
98 Rock, Tampa Bay's rock station. Alright, you ready for the best story of the day? Hey guys, it's Hooker. Get a load of this. Some lady grabbed an Uber to head to the mechanic to go pick up her car. Struck up a conversation with the Uber driver, talking about how, you know what, I think I get taken advantage of because I'm a girl and I don't know that much about cars. So the Uber driver dropped her off at the mechanic spot, got out of the car, pretended to be her dad. Like, full dad mode. He even said things like, okay, hon, you go inside and pay for this, I gotta talk to this guy. Made sure it went through the list and made them not charge her for stuff that isn't relevant or stuff she didn't need. I think that is epic. This guy just saw his moment and decided to shine for some random girl.
Ooh, that's a big shark. Haven't seen him yet tonight. He just come on the scene. Big shark, big shark. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Turn this radio down.
My son was 12 years old when he was prescribed opioids. It took him 5 days to get addicted. I'm not supposed
The
to.
commercials are terrible on the radio. He's talking about opioids. That was a big shark come on scene there. That was pretty neat, huh? Have not seen him. I gotta make a turn here. We're going inshore. I was offshore with that boat. A few shrimp out there, just not quite as good. There's a shark coming up. Shrimp, sharks and dolphins swimming together. Nothing unusual. I've seen it my whole life. Ooh, look. Something in the way there, wasn't it, when he turned? They don't even bother each other at all. It's like a spinner or a black tip. 360 or so species of sharks. I ain't never met one that's endangered. I even seen a great white that was truly amazing inside Terracea Bay. Let me make my turn here. Y'all can stay with me. Turn my pilot off. I just can't get much farther in the car. Jump.
In a world of jumbo size snacks and artificial flavors, orange and blueberries stand proud, boasting with antioxidants and ready to tackle hunger, one delectable bite at a time. From muffins to smoothies, or straight out of the carton, they are the tiny titans of taste, delivering freshness as bold as they are brewed, proving once
Very
again
cool.
that good things come in
And bye.
to see
Sorry about that, my friends. I thought I had enough time to get back to the controls here. Not even sure how long that was off. Trying to get my lunch done while I'm making a video. But the plan, plain truth. Boy, I am terrible at English language. Why is that? Because I haven't been near books my whole life. I've been in nature. But lots of people has warned us about these technologies they're putting up. And why would we allow a group of people to put up devices around our planet? Who in our governments thought it was a great idea to privatize our space industry? It would be the most controlling weapon on the planet. There is no country that can withstand these technologies. Truly incredible system here. I don't know how else to get it through to people. I've watched this stuff go up my whole life. I've been within 30 miles of these rockets going up. They're very real. Everything is planned, and I mean everything, for the last 100 years. They own it all. It's theirs. They own it to begin with. I think the United States was theirs when it was first conceived. The Civil War was not about slavery. It was trying to secede, recede, or however you say it, away from these people. We were trying to get away from those people in the North that was controlling everything. And our southern states are still being punished today for their treason, I guess they called it. But it was never about stopping slavery. Slavery was already being stopped at the exact same time. That's why they played it in their handbooks. We see them rewriting history as they see fit. I'm not trying to create problems here with anybody's mindset. I'm just trying to show you the puzzle pieces. Here's the jackwagons that are doing everything while they are sitting there pretending to be arguing with themselves, with each other. They are too giddy and happy to be part of the club. Thank you to the Warriors at 23 minutes. This brings me great pain to bring everything except for the Dolphin video. The Red Tie Convention. And I guess a couple of these people, they still got their little rainbow 2030 symbol on, but some of them forgot their red ties. But they all have the little symbol on their chest. We all know what that is. They're part of the club. And like I said in my previous videos, I guarantee his is in his pocket. He's part of the club. Look at the puffy eyes. You don't think he's being put under stress? My goodness, it looks like somebody blacked his eyes out. I didn't even notice that. He's got puffy eyes. These two do not really have it. That's stress. See, he's got it too. Smile big for the camera, Jack Wagons. You just sold your soul to the devil. She's got swollen eyes. I see that in people, and I look at it as stress. When I see actors with that swollen eyes, he has it. Putin looks stoned, but that's just a blink of an eye of a camera flash. But swollen eyes at below your eyes, it's stress, no sleep. Smile for the camera, smile real big. He's got it. I am very observant. A couple weeks back, the fish and wildlife had a sting here outside our channel markers. But when I got to the boat ramp, I noticed their trailers were wet. And I'm like, look, their trailers are wet. They just put over. They're outside here waiting on us. And sure enough, when I got outside, they were out there waiting on us. Had a team on each vessel boarding every shrimp boat. Nothing particular, just checking your gear, running warrants. But I want y'all to look into the eyes of your enemy. These families still control the world. And Schiff here is Rockefeller. Sorry, Rothschild. That is the Rothschild's boss in the United States that created the Federal Reserve that's not owned by the United States. We do not own our Federal Reserve. They named it federal, but it's a central banking system that helped fund Hitler. Hitler was a poor man. Nobody thought about asking where did Hitler get the funding for this incredible army he created. He was a poor painter that served in World War One. If you do the history on Hitler, he was a nobody, but he was a Rothschild grandson, and he lived his entire life out in Argentina. We were lied to by these people that controls our media. From 1911, they took over our media. Our media is centrally controlled. CFR is Council of Foreign Relations. Since 1921, they've been established. They took over our media in 1911. You cannot get anything factual in our media any longer after 1911. When I read previous documents of newspapers, it was accurate. After 1911, or more accurate. Not controlled so much. And this list goes right on. I couldn't get the whole list on there, but it's from End Times Production, man. They do a great job. What kind of information would y'all like to have at the last 30 minutes here? Short segment on weather. I already showed y'all the very unusual energy, I guess you can call it, that needs to be shut down across their planet. This energy's all over. I can only see it in the United States, but it's everywhere. Mexico must have amazing stuff put up. Imagine being a billionaire and go to a third world country. What cannot you do? You know, what you could not do. I don't know how to put that exactly there. I messed up, felt like. And just for a little bit of a chemtrail report, massive chemtrails off Oregon right now of some sort. Washington. With some cross hatching in it. Man-made cloud cover. Blocking the sun. Energy. Material needed for their machine to work as well. Got a little bit zoomed in on this place. No ships at the moment. That sprayed last week or whatever, a few days ago. I'll keep an eye out that for everybody. But our Gulf right now is very clear for their ritual they put up. Okay, I found y'all some information I want to share. Remember, the rocket going up was really red. Like I said, it wasn't natural when I was growing up, but I like these guys. Imagination Station. It explains this different materials that makes the color red or orange or different colors, green, blue. But why our fireworks have certain colors and why I
worsen and the
also
economy fails, people.
why did it do that? They play with my computer sometimes, I swear. But the color red is what I believe they've added to the fireworks show here that we seen
What
last
gives
night.
fireworks their colors? When elements are
raw, unedited Commercial Fisherman. But last night's rocket was brilliant red, and I'd seen the space shuttle go up and several times, and I've never seen so brilliant red, and I think it's part of their rituals. But 30-second video explains different fireworks colors. Sorry if so raw today. Just really waking up here.
What gives fireworks their colors? When elements are heated, they emit a characteristic color spectra. Sodium chloride, which you might find in table salt, provides a brilliant orangish yellow. Lithium chloride, which we find in cell phone batteries, gives a hot pink or reddish color. Potassium chloride, which you'll find in bananas, again gives more of a orangish color. Strontium chloride, which you might find in road flares, gives a brilliant red. And my favorite, copper, which you might find in the Statue of Liberty, a deep greenish blue. When you add a pan to a heat source and drop water on it, you expect the water droplets to vaporize right away. But if the temperature is over 193 degrees Celsius, something interesting happens. The water droplets skitter across the surface like an air hockey puck. What's happening is called the Leidenfrost effect. A thin layer, and by thin I mean 0.2 of a millimeter, layer of gas forms underneath the droplets, allowing them to move across the surface without boiling away. It's really pretty cool.
I've always loved science and learning, and I have tried my best to learn as much as possible. And when I let the Lord back in my heart, everything that science could not explain, the Lord did. And I hope people understand what I'm talking about. But 5-minute video, I'm going to leave you. I would probably this one after that. But it did a great explanation on the pendulum experiment. That's very real. We could do it in our own house here.
Right now, the Earth's surface is spinning at several hundred meters per second, and we're all along for the ride. It doesn't actually feel like you're moving though, which is nice, because being super dizzy all the time doesn't sound like a fun way to live. But that also means that for a long time we didn't know for sure that the Earth was spinning at all. People have suspected the Earth rotates for thousands of years, but it wasn't like they could just go to space and see for themselves, so it was hard to prove in a simple, clear way. Until 1851, when French physicist Leon Foucault hung a pendulum from one of the highest ceilings in Paris and let it swing. Before this, some astronomers as far back as the ancient Greeks thought the Earth rotated because that would explain why the sun and other stars move across the sky. But not everyone accepted that. Most people believed that stars were attached to some kind of celestial sphere that spun around us, and it probably didn't help that some of the ideas about what caused the Earth to rotate were a bit odd. Take Philolaus of Croton. About 2,300 years ago, he suggested the Earth rotated because it had a twin planet that no one in Greece ever saw. Supposedly, Earth and this mysterious counter-Earth spun around each other, always facing opposite directions, at least from the Greeks' perspective. Even back then, it wasn't exactly a popular idea. Over the next few thousand years, astronomers in Europe, India, and the Middle East also looked at the moving stars and suggested the Earth rotated, but none of them could prove it. Finally, in 1651, an Italian physicist named Giovanni Battista Riccioli had an idea. He wrote that if the Earth rotated, a cannonball shot due north should curve to the right. It sounds like a weird way to explain the Earth's rotation, but Riccioli was on the right track. If you did fire a cannonball north, it would curve to the right, because of what we now call the Coriolis effect, although it wasn't named that until 200 years later. The Coriolis effect says that something moving in the northern hemisphere will look like it's being pushed to the right, and something moving in the southern hemisphere will look like it's being pushed to the left. Part of the reason for the Coriolis effect comes from the fact that the closer you get to the equator, the faster the Earth's surface rotates. That's because the planet is widest at the equator, so you have to travel farther to get all the way around it than you do closer to the poles. But it takes one day for the Earth to finish one rotation no matter where you are, which means the surface closer to the equator has to travel farther in the same amount of time, so it moves faster. Say you're standing at the equator and fire a cannonball north. The ball zooms north, but at the same time it's still moving east with the speed of the Earth's rotation at the equator where it left the cannon. That means that as it moves north, it's moving east faster than the Earth's surface. From your perspective standing next to the cannon, it looks like it's moving to the right. Unfortunately, or maybe luckily, physicists at the time didn't have much access to cannons. Besides, it would be tough to track the path of the cannonball and see if it curved or not. So scientists decided to try something easier. They dropped balls off the top of the tallest towers they could find. The top of the tower would be moving faster than the bottom for the same reason that the Earth's surface at the equator moves faster than it does near the poles. To rotate once, the top of the tower has to travel in a bigger circle. So if the Earth didn't rotate, the balls should drop straight down. But if it did, the balls should land off to the side because the top of the tower is spinning faster than the ground. One physicist, Giovanni Battista Guglielmini, found that if you dropped a ball off a tower about 74 meters tall, it would land around a centimeter to the side. It was just a small difference, and it was hard to know if the measurements were accurate, but it was encouraging evidence that the Earth rotated. Now, by the mid-1800s, most people did believe the Earth rotated because they'd finally accepted that Earth orbits the sun. A rotating Earth was the best explanation for why the sun and stars move across the sky, and they had some evidence for it, like from watching how the stars moved relative to each other. But it was still hard to prove in a clear, easy-to-see way, until Leon Foucault. In 1851, Foucault found a proof that could easily be repeated and didn't require any tall towers. He hung a pendulum from a string and let it swing. Since the pendulum is just hanging from the ceiling on a string, Earth's rotation can't force it to swivel. The ceiling it's attached to is rotating, but the string stays put while the ceiling turns around it. So once Foucault started the pendulum swinging, it just kept moving back and forth. But in the meantime, Earth kept rotating underneath it. From the perspective of someone standing on the ground, it looked like the pendulum swing was turning clockwise. That was the Coriolis effect in action. The pendulum swing didn't turn by much, but as time passed and the Earth kept rotating, its orientation changed more and more. Foucault first tested his pendulum in his basement and then in the Paris Observatory for fellow scientists, and it worked. Then he hung a 67-meter pendulum from the dome of Paris's Pantheon, a mausoleum for the greatest French thinkers, and showed it off to the public. For the first time, people could see a simple demonstration of Earth's rotation with their own eyes. Still, watching a swinging pendulum isn't something you want to do for hours, so to help them out, Foucault placed the pendulum over a bed of sand. As the pendulum swung, the tip traced out a line in the sand, and over time, the line showed the pendulum was no longer swinging in the same direction. You can find Foucault's pendulums in science museums all over the world, and even though they might seem like just a cool party trick now that we can see Earth rotating from space, they were really important for helping us understand how our planet works. The only people who weren't excited about Foucault's discovery were the scientific elite, who were annoyed by his lack of traditional scientific training. Unfortunately for them, that didn't change the fact that Foucault created the first simple, clear proof that the Earth rotated. But maybe they were just mad that they didn't think of it first. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow. If you'd like to learn more about the Coriolis effect, you can watch our episode about how it might not mean what you think it means.
Really good group of guys here. The show is pretty good. Well, I was going to take a quick look across the pond, but it's already gotten pretty dark. Sun's already setting. It's 3 p.m., 3:15 here. Not sure what time it is in Europe. France is definitely getting dark. Sun is setting. Every second of the day, there's a sunrise and sunset taking place. It is 3:15 p.m. here and 3 a.m. in the Philippines, so my dad's still asleep. Very much dark. And my friend in Australia, it's 5 a.m. It might be about to break daylight there pretty soon. Yep, I can see it coming. Good morning, my friend. Some weird looking weather. Some frequency waves I see there sticking out. 1, 2, 3 very distinct waves. Global Geoengineering. Has nothing to do with state of Florida outlawing it. That is a joke. These people have us under their thumb. Commercial Fisherman standing by. Heavy trailing still taking place off Oregon and Washington. California may be in the clear. Sometimes these operations are going where I really can't see it. It's just not enough. It hasn't spread out enough too sometimes. The reason I say that, I've seen it in Florida and I look on here and don't really see much. But Commercial Fisherman standing by. Y'all have a good morning, a good day, and a good evening, whatever timeline you happen to be on. Standing by.